Let's see what they're cooking, guys. There's a lot of changes here, thankfully. In 26.16, we're making several adjustments to systems that impact some of the meta developments around roaming supports, mages bot lane, and some targeted nerfs to some strong items that are hampering meta diversity, like Sundered Sky. You know, I talked about this earlier, but it's funny because like people in pro have already stopped playing mages. I mean, not fully, obviously, but the priority is going down. It's like noticeable. Teams like T1 and Gen.G have realized that they have more success playing AD carries, so we're back to AD carries. And you already know that when the top tier teams like Gen.G and T1 are playing AD carries, then the whole world will start playing them again. We're also looking to adjust certain items portions of the ADC facing systems. Yeah. Small note about the PB scrap for Sunfire. There isn't currently an armor nerf to Sunfire. It is intended to be a nut buff, in particularly with an increase to its burn damage to champions while holding minion damage stat and increasing its cost to make a clearer choice point with Hollow Radiance. I actually remember I talked about this like a couple of months ago, how I'm thinking like if Sunfire Cape is like an outdated design, like how are you able as a character to like stay on top of someone and burn them for a long time for it to be impactful? Like what number does Sunfire need to have for that to be strong? And won't Sunfire just be an OP Loila item by that? Like, I don't know. After evaluating his most recent state, Nasus, we don't think that Nasus jungle is in need of a nerf right now, though he is present and popular, which is fine for a champ to be. Nasus is a champ with quite a shallow master curve and starting high level of proficiency for novices, so his high win rate can be misleading. We do think Nasus top is in need for a buff, however, and so the current set of changes are targeted at giving a relative buff to Nasus top while being power neutral to jungle. Okay. I think what they're doing to Nasus is like they're giving him more stacks on minions, which is like nice. Because I always found it wrong that like Nasus jungle can have like 500 stacks super fast into the game, and Nasus top like takes way longer for that to reach that. So I do like that, but obviously like Nasus is a low elo skew champ, so giving him more stacks and more mana, which is currently the plan, is like scary. Mage's bot lane. While Mage's bot and roaming supports experienced a significant upswing in pro play in the weeks following MSI, over the past week in particular, their presence in pro play has experienced a pretty sharp downtrend. Yeah. Teams seemed a lot better at playing against it, and in particular the roaming supports. I don't even know if it's teams being better to play against it, probably. But I also think that like a lot of AD carry players in competitive are insanely bad at mages. Like talking about you, Ruler. You can't play mages, buddy, I'm sorry. You're just not good at them. That said, we still intend to make some changes to the dynamic to improve the quality of the experience in regular play in particular, as well as the top-down and support roaming, which we think is undesirable gameplay overall. Many AD carries weren't designed with being duelist in mind. 1v1 is less exciting and lower depth of gameplay. Players enjoy the 2v2 lane. Yeah, I agree with that. Broadly, we're not looking to change the dynamic of some of the ways that this mage versus ADC matchups play out, even though they are being commonly requested by the community as they contribute to desirable class differentiation and satisfaction. We believe this is very important for League's long-term longevity and diversity of play experience. In the same way, we wouldn't be a default nerf assassins without the combination of player frustration, design reasonings, and why it makes the game better. Things like mages having access to lots of mana on Lost Chapter, having different and in many cases situations stronger power spikes, the native carries on certain breakpoints, ability to wave clear are core expectations, satisfaction points, and areas of gameplay differentiation from the class. Like, I appreciate him explaining this, but like most people just don't understand this, honestly. And this is why like Riot shouldn't listen to the community. Like if community would be voting what Riot should change, the game would like literally die, honestly. There's a level of player frustration where we would tone back on some of these elements, but don't believe the current situation meets that threshold, and the combination of small nudges will make an impact. I agree, yeah. I don't think Riot has to do a lot, honestly, to make like mages disappear or like make them be less played. I think overall, like as time passes, they will gradually decline. and Ra just needs to do a little bit, and then there's gonna be like AD carries back, and then the whole world will be happy, and then there's gonna be a new problem people are gonna be mad about. For regular players in particular, we want to give ADCs back some power in surviving some of the early magic damage from champs that aren't typically seen in pro play and are frequently killing them in early lane, like Brand and Swain. Buffing some of the weaker systems pieces like Berserkers and Fleet. Roaming supports. While the roaming support gameplay can be interesting when seeing it every few games, the current state of its breach is too far. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Many supports in the current pro play metagame are defined by their ability to leave lane at level 3, and worse is copycats in regular play, thinking they're able to do it and grouping the whole game over it. Yeah. The most particular one is like Camille supports, they just literally run down the whole game, right? As mentioned above, we also think the gameplay patterns of this are pretty undesirable. We're making some targeted adjustments to the support role class to penalize some of the roaming support behaviors and targeted anti-support skewed nerfs to Poppy and Camille, and Halo Blades, which is predominantly used by many of these champions. So this is something I talked about, how like Halo Blades is something people don't talk about, and I think is a massive problem. Very, very, in my opinion, a very unhealthy keystone that I don't even know if it should even be in League of Legends, if it really fits the game in current state. For Camille in particular, we're looking to move some of her power to support to top. For now, we're not looking to nerf the comeback XP as we want to see how impactful the out of lane penalty is, and the comeback XP plays an important role in anti-snowballing, helping players who accidentally disconnect. In theory, extending the out of lane penalty will also mean that supports are returning to lane around level 5, which also reduces the impact of the comeback XP and the irrelevant XP breakpoints. Okay, more on the other things later. So, a lot of like reasonable explanations here from Froxon. I definitely can see like why they don't want to like they're moving very slow, right? They're gonna nerf one thing, see how it plays out. If it's not enough, boom, there's gonna be more nerfs. Obviously frustrating for players maybe, because the players definitely want this gone. But there is a chance that this isn't enough and then they're gonna have to readjust it. My opinion is, I think Mage's bot will slowly disappear because it's already happening. I think people just naturally want to play AD carries more. And a lot of people don't even play Mage as well and all the other stuff. And you can already see in the teams, like top tier teams are already starting to play more AD carries because this is just what they're good at. And for support roaming, there is still a chance that it's still too good, but I think with Camille being nerfed and Poppy being nerfed, maybe the big winner here is Shen, no? From what I can see, like Shen is being the big winner here. Surprised that he's not on this list. Okay, so there are a couple of things, and some of them are on PBE. Maybe I should open the PBE first. Give me a second. Okay, I think I found it. So the PBE says the base MR of all AD carry champions will go up to 33. And this also includes some solo laners like Akshan and some junglers like Kindred, I believe. So yeah, Akshan is getting indirectly buffed, and this is a very big deal for Akshan because he is a mid laner and he mostly faces magic damage in that type of lane, right? So this is a bigger buff on Akshan, and yeah, Kindred will also benefit from this. I guess Riot thinks that these characters could need a buff, which I can see Kindred being buffed, but like Akshan is still OP in hands of good Akshan players and too useless in regular play. So maybe Riot has to either unskew him a little bit and make him better for regular players, which is going to be hard with the kit that he has. Or maybe Riot will just accept that Akshan will just be factually an overpowered champion for solo queue if you're good at him for the rest of the league's existence. I don't know. But apparently, only when you reach level 18 is the MR slightly worse. So for the vast majority of the game, the MR is just strictly better on all these champions. And you know, people have to realize that, like, you know, even this MR is gonna help you even in like against some supports, right? Like Alistar combos here, he's doing mostly magic damage to you, right? And maybe I saw some like people on Twitter are like, wow, 2 MR, this is such a joke of a buff or something. Bro, you know, you're taking so much sources of magic damage throughout the game. And when Riot buffs 3 armor on a champion, it generally is 1% win rate to a champion. So, you know, I don't think Riot needs to like give these AD carry champs like a lot to make people play more AD carries than mages. That's why they're being very, let's say maybe small, like they go very light here, but like it's enough in my opinion. It's completely enough. It might even be too much. So Camille is gonna have higher base mana. The passive will no longer be 20%, which is, I think, insanely support skewed, and one of the reasons why Camille support is so brain dead. And now we'll scale instead with Lavis and will be stronger late game. So Camille will have more of a fantasy of a scaling champ like she used to have, where she's obviously weak early and then gets to Trinity and starts taking over. The passive cooldown will also be... So it's gonna have more cooldown overall from what I can see. Wait, level 7. So I guess at level 7 it's gonna be less, but like early game it's gonna be... Wait, sorry, I'm just misreading. So it's like... So it's way less cooldown by 4 seconds, rank 1, and 3 seconds, rank 2. Okay. I guess you will have passive more often up. Besides ultra late game. That's a weird change in my opinion. But I guess they think that like this nerf is very big. W max health damage will go up by 1%. So they think this is going to be, I guess, top lane skewed. Because you face more like bruisers tanks there. And people have generally more levels, more HP and stuff. And W cooldown will go also down. Wait, what? Are this really support Camille nerfs? Like this part is, but everything else is low-key above. And like, okay, there's Halo Blades being nerfed. Maybe that's the big one, right? Oh, I expected something completely different when I was like expecting to read this. What the fuck? Poppy, base AD here. Down by 4, okay. Base HP region up, okay. So she's gonna have a way better HP region, that's fair. Base mana up by 20. This is kind of nice because Poppy top lane really does struggle with mana while Poppy support doesn't. And Poppy top lane oftentimes needs to buy like Tier and Winter. 20 is still very little, but we're getting there. Oh, okay, this is the big one. Mana growth up by 5. So this is, again, really nice for top lane Poppy. Maybe she will not be forced to go tier anymore. This is really great. Q max health damage. Down early, up late. Q slow. Just down every rank, but we scale now with 100 bonus health. So obviously top lane skewed. And W passive bonus resist will go up by 4%. Wow, these are, I think, great changes for Poppy. Maybe slightly weaker early game for top lane Poppy, but like top Poppy is not a lane bully anyway. You kind of pick her to like neutralize, and then you're strong in like mid game, and this is gonna be nice. Tristana will also apparently benefit from the MR buffs for mid lane, okay. So Berserker will get 5% attack speed buff, which probably should have happened like a year ago already. These boots were so fucking garbage for so long, but they're still going to be, obviously, one of the weaker boots. Like, 5% attack speed is not, like, a lot of stats here. And, yeah. But, yeah. Okay, sure. Black Cleaver, 5 AD more. Range champs, we get less move speed. This is primarily a nerf to, like, what? Senna, Urgot, and... I don't know who else uses. Like, not a lot of... Smolder, I guess. Not a lot of range champions. Not a lot of range champions use the move speed. I mean, I think this is like whatever. I don't think range champs are like gonna be not unplayable because of this or anything. You're still getting 5 more AD, like in a lot of cases you're happier. So this one's really nice in my opinion. Chained Lace Crushers. These are the tier 3 mercs. They're gonna lose 5 MR. God bless, bro. Nothing more frustrating than like playing against like a LeBlanc or like a Hui, and enemy buys like tier 3 mercs, and it feels like you're punished so hard. Okay, this is a really big deal, honestly, for champions that... Some champs really like buying mercs, and some champs just hate buying mercs. And this is a big deal for like LeBlanc, Vax, Hui type champs, because these champs generally won't want mercs. Eclipse is not that good of an item. It's getting, I assume, buffed here. So more proc damage for melee and range, but a little bit less shield. I think overall a buff, easily. Like a lot of times, this shield isn't fully absorbed, right, when you're trading. Yeah, 5% more attack speed on upgraded boots. Also, yeah, the Berserker boots, obviously the biggest buff here, probably like Yon Yasuo, right? Spellslinger shoes are getting 2 more flat magic pen. This is probably in compensation that, like, you know, there's more MR in the game with like AD carries getting MR. And yeah, okay. So now, like, the thing is, like, now if enemy buys Mercs and you have Spellslinger shoes, you're not damaged nearly as much anymore by the MR, which is like really big, honestly. Stark's gauge is getting about 5% more base AD. Some champions that have high base AD growths, like Ilaoi, are very happy. But yeah, I don't think many people buy Starks right now, simply because like Dasden's probably too OP, and then you have to usually buy MR after that. So the big one here. Wait, what? Unintentional combined cost should be increasing by 400. Oh, so people were like losing their mind because Sundered Sky was about to be 400 gold cheaper, but this is apparently wrong. So the item will just get 50 more health, but the healing will go less. Wait, it will go from base AD to bonus AD. So that's generally a nerf to, like, especially junglers, right? It's maybe like a buff to like Riven late game, right? If she stacks up like a lot of AD with ult and stuff. And it will also give you way less missing HP. And the 50 HP that you're getting here is not going to be more than the amount you're healing in a fight. So this is a massive nerf, the way I see it. Like, of course, if the item is 400 gold cheaper, then we're gonna have a different discussion, but this is a massive nerf. So the Sunfire cape, apparently he said that like it's not losing armor or something or whatever it was, but yeah, less minion damage and less monster damage, but it will do more damage overall and scaling with health. I think this is probably good for the item because the item has like a weird fantasy, honestly. You're just buying it for the stats, you're not really buying it for burn if you're a laner, so I understand it. Tiamat, really garbage component, will finally have decent amount of AD. Still gonna be probably, yeah, it's probably gonna be more reasonable to buy now. And I guess like the big winner here is like what, Clad maybe, because he really needs to rush it, or like Fiora. Fleet, we have 5 to 30 more health. I don't know if AD carry champs are gonna be playing more Fleet. It's like really hard for me to say. Like Fleet, I don't even know like who plays Fleet these days. Like for me, when I look at this, I'm thinking like, wow, I play Fleet on Yon. This is like even more insane than Yon in some matchups now. I don't know, but like, you know, I feel like Fleet is. I mean, I'm gonna say like 5 to 35 is a pretty good buff to Fleet. I'm pretty sure this used to be like the numbers on the rune back in the day. So Halo Blades will lose 30 attack speed, which is a really big deal, especially for like someone like Echo, who a lot of times he can't get a third auto in because of this attack speed nerfs, and you're able to just like run away. He only gets 2 autos off. And then the damage part will be actually a bit weaker early, but it will scale better. And I think I saw some math on this, and apparently the scaling is very garbage still. So overall, I would say pretty big nerf to the rune. Because like you're not picking Hellblades for late game, right? Like sure, the rune might scale better in damage, but I don't think you're picking it for late game. So support quest will get gold on champion tower damage, less but more minion. Okay, whatever. And that's all there is on PB right now, which could change. There's also a hurricane buff. There's a jungle pad buff, whatever that means. What else is there in the patch that's not on PBE? Belvet is getting nerfed. Belvet is insanely high win rate in low elo now. Her win rate growth, like her curve, her late game is like I think one of the best in the game. Yeah, Belvet is apparently got overbuffed with the changes. And then we have an Azir buff. So Azir will probably return for Worlds. I guess it's just He's been out of pro play meta for quite some time now, so I think it is like understandable that Riot wants him to be maybe back. Gwen, okay, another buff on Gwen and Kennen. Kennen got nerfed, like didn't he get nerfed like with ult CD or something like that? Okay. I think Rauch above Braum, by the way. Maybe a hot take, but like Braum ult is like the worst ult in the game. Like the cooldown is miserable. I don't know, just an idea. But yeah, overall I would say I like the patch because the amount of changes we're getting are a lot more than usual, and it does address some of the issues that I have in League right now, which is like roaming supports are way too obnoxious, and characters are going every lane everywhere. But I think for top lane players in particular, the patch doesn't really address a lot of the issues that top lane players have. Right, top lane is becoming the one of like the least or second least popular role in Europe. I think it's the least popular these days, and in Hyla, and I don't see how the patch is gonna address any of that. So if you're a top lane main, I think you're still gonna hate your life playing this game.